peace and contentment, no need for resentment. This I found in you. This I found in you.
Red's not supposed to be green, like fate's not supposed to be seen. The sky's not supposed to touch the ground, and a square's not supposed to be round. The moon's not supposed to touch the sun, and a two's not supposed to be a one. And the heart's not supposed to weigh a ton, and forever's not supposed to be done. Winter's not supposed to come in June. Now I'm not supposed to have the blues. There are so many things that are not supposed to be, babe, except you and me. There are so many things that I'm not supposed to be. Ooh, baby, yeah, except you and me. Night's not supposed to be long. Yeah. No one is supposed to be alone. Understanding is not supposed to be confused, and the wind is not supposed to lose. Like fire's not supposed to freeze, or like joy is not supposed to grieve. Like you are not supposed to leave what I said I'm not supposed to mean. He is not supposed to have your heart. Baby, we are not supposed to be apart. There are so many things that are not supposed to be except you and me. There are so many things that are not supposed to be. Hey, baby, it seems just like no seasons changing, or this earth with no creation, or a heart with no feelings, or a sickness without a healing. Just like a frozen spring, or a bird with no wings. Just like a song out of key, that's how my life would be. Like the night skies with no stars, or lonely broken heart. No holding hands or walks in the park. That's how it would be if we went apart. Ooh. There are so many except you and me, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby, yeah, except you and me.
ACT, did you see this?
If it ain't official DanaJay, Prima Donna News, I don't even want to see it.
But I know that there's more. More for you, more for us.
DJ discretion.
Flow still sick, I ain't talking that pandemic.
DJ discretion.
Flow still sick, I ain't talking that pandemic.
DJ discretion.
Flow still sick, I ain't talking that pandemic.
Say you love it, what you gon' do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. We love tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spank you. That ass count, gotta make it last now. Start off so, then I'ma beat it up.
I say my life is like a movie, there are sequels to the shit. Haters try to do me, try to put me in the ditch. You know I make moves, real niggas in the streets, trying to get this bread so my whole hood can eat. A lot of lame niggas say they true to the game, claiming that they real, wanna stand, dropping names. The troll.
Shut that shit down.
I'm so tired of it. Yeah, you need to stop playing dirty. Yeah, she deserves the best, and if you can't give it to her, then why hold on to her? It's not fair. Don't love her, then you leave that girl alone. You keep playing with her. Shut that shit down. Gotta be my brother's keeper. If you don't love her, then you leave that girl alone. You keep playing with her. Shut that shit down. Heartbreak, heartache, that's what makes the love go round, round. Before she gets to acting crazy, stop calling that girl your baby. Yeah. If you know you ain't ready, quit acting like you ready. If you know you ain't want it, quit acting like you want it. You need to let her go, let her go. You need to let her go, let her go. You need to let her go, let her go. You need to let her go. I'm trying to be my brother's keeper. If you don't love her, then you leave that girl alone. You keep playing with her. Shut that shit down. Trying to be my brother's keeper. If you don't love her, then you leave that girl alone. You keep playing with her. Shut that shit all the way down, 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 down. If you know you don't love her, shut her down, 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 down. If you know you don't wanna, shut her down, 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 down.
I need you to take heed, man. This is your warning. If you're listening,
let me hear you say, oh. You need to leave her alone. You need to leave her. Yeah. Yeah. her free. You keep playing with her, lying to that girl, messing up her world, making promises she can't keep. You need to set her free. You keep playing with her. You keep playing.
What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? What's up? That's my new intro, y'all. It's called Shut the Shit Down. And that's all I'm about to do. Is shut it all down. That's my new intro. Shout out Dream Team. Shout out everybody that's here. What's going on, y'all? Loving each and every last one of y'all, man. Y'all know what it's like. So I was waiting for part 2 of the Tia Ewing joint. I was ready. And I'm laughing. Matter of fact, shout out to everybody that's here. Shout out to the people that's watching. Shout out to the people that really scared to even make it known that you in my chat watching. Had to take it back to the old school and go get a mellow yellow. So, like I say, man, shout out to everybody that's here. We doing our thing. We doing our thing respectfully. We doing our thing rightfully. We doing our thing introductively. Thank you, Tiffany. Welcome back to the set. Yes. Welcome back to the set. We still on the back up to the backup page. Any day now, any hour, all the pages will be back. What up, Queen J? Shout out to I gotta say, Uncle Greg had a birthday party, right? So at the end of this joint, I'm gonna play some songs just for Uncle Greg. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Miss Marcia. Shout out to everybody that's here. Nikki M, I have to get with you. Tiffany! Happy birthday to Tiffany. Happy birthday to Tiffany. Happy birthday to Tiffany. Happy birthday to Tiffany. Today is our own Tiffany's birthday. I ain't know until just now. I told y'all, man, y'all gotta get in the Dream Team chat and put when y'all birthdays in there. Do it ahead of time, please. I don't want to have to wait till the last minute and do some stuff, but hey, Uncle Greg, Tiffany, hold on. Happy birthday, Uncle Greg. Happy birthday, Tiffany. Hold on.
Music, yeah. She about to turn up. Got her drinking a cup. She with her whole crew, all of her girls, and it seems like she ready. I'm like, happy birthday, bitch. Shake it, happy birthday, pick up your mind. I'm flying and birds, haters can't touch me. Man, I'm in my zone. I'm that nigga truck, my swag in the bank. And these niggas is wrong. They keep coming for loans. Keep a
Yeah, but that's how we get out for the birthday people real quick. Shout out to everybody that's here. Also, I want to give a shout out. If y'all listen to Streets 94.5 on Sundays around like 12 to 2 or 10 to 2, somewhere around that time frame, and y'all hear this lovely voice that's a female, I want y'all to know that's one of my friends, one of my co-stars from On My Radio. That's Gigi Gennaro. She be on there laying it down, y'all. I believe that Gigi need to be a main cast for Streets 94.5. I think she need her own show. And I think her show need to be called the Hybro Gennaro Show. There you go. The Hybro Gennaro Show. All right, now that we got all that out the way, we seen part 1 of the Don Russell effect. We seen part 1. And what did you hear? Don Russell think he's entitled to R. Kelly. We seen the tap dancing, chicken shucking, shoe driving, lying son of a gun talk about, oh, he spent $300,000. Well, I do want to let y'all know again, for the new people that's here, Robert did have his royalties going to Don Russell's mother account because his accounts was jacked up and he ain't have an account. So Don was going into the checking account. Don was going into his mother's checking account and taking Rob's money at will. She never said nothing. She never stopped him. She never told him, oh no, that's Rob's money. And she never even told Rob. So when you hear him say he gave Rob money, no, you didn't. You spent Rob's money that came from the advancement. And y'all heard me over time talk about this. Just when my pages come back up, look at the videos. The old videos don't lie. They're there. They're there. Just like my haters go look at the old videos and then delete their messages from in the comments. I never see no shit like this. They delete their messages out the comments so that way when I go back and when people go back, but they can't see what they said. Man, listen, this is the most craziest stuff. That's why I don't pay him no more attention. Pay him no more attention. I'm not going back and forth. The most I do is put y'all truth up on my community wall. Like when I was lied on the Walrus channel 6 days ago. You gonna lie on me? And then when it was sent to me, I was like, really? And I really listened to it. And I'm sitting there like, I can't believe this lady is saying that. I don't even speak about this lady. I don't talk about this lady. I don't care. Even when the cousin came and was like, yo, what about talking to them and making him? I said, no. 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 I will not talk to them. I'm good. There's no need to have conversations with people that you are a blessing to. Is no longer a reason to have a conversation with them because they was nothing but a lesson to you. So with that being said, I appreciate the good and the bad because it taught me a lot of things. Being in this R. Kelly fight will teach you how to be selfish and stop looking out for people because ain't nobody else looking out for you. what I've learned in this R. Kelly fight, everybody had an agenda. And that was to get to Robert any way possible, by any means necessary, any shape, form, or fashion. So they'd come paint up to you, oh, yeah, I'm an R. Kelly supporter, and let's do things, and let's this and this and this and this. And then when they get around Robert, it's a totally different story. Oh, I've been wanting to be with you all along. Dana sent me, he brought me, so I'm here. Then you got people that sit back, I'm an R. Kelly supporter, this and this and this and this. I'll pay for this. I'll show up at your house at 1 o'clock in the morning. Let's go get crab legs and let's get personal. Let me do this to you. And as soon as you turn them down, I don't like you. You ain't for R. Kelly. You ain't this and this and that. Okay, you do rallies. Y'all planning stuff. You might not have been in the writing of the signs, and you might not have been in what else? What else? The writing of the signs and all that. But you was the ones that did the shirts, that got the shirts done. You the one that made the shirts possible on both rallies. You the one that did the signs on both rallies of the flyers. You the one that did the route on both rallies. You the one that came up with the idea for both rallies. You the one that came up with the graphics for both rallies. You the one. So when I keep saying you the one, just because I wasn't sitting and holding up signs with everybody, but then I still held up a sign. And I marched the street. And come on, yo, really? Really? So the hard work that you put in is always somebody there that want to take the credit for what you did. That's all you do is tell people to go look at it. Even if they was a part of it. They want to make it seem like, oh, it's theirs. Since when? When you look at the flyers, who you see everywhere? And that's why I personally did that. Because not for credit, because for the longest, I really didn't really want to do credit. I really didn't want to take credit for nothing. I would just sit back and watch. But then as I sat back and watched other people take credit for the stuff I did, I'm like, come on, yo, stop. And I go behind the scenes and I'd be like, yo, that's not right? I'm not that type of person. As long as R. Kelly know that I'm doing something. And then it's crazy because then you have new people that claim they've been there from day one. And because you was rocking with them, you fed their ego and told them that, oh yeah, and you've been there and from day one. But you wasn't there from day one. And see, and this is a bad habit that I have. I have to stop crippling people when they start with the BS. I need to start letting people know, like, nah, let's not do that. You lying. And then if I start doing it that way, folks will be like, oh, that's the type of time Dana on. Yeah. Yeah, because the more you cripple people and the more you cover for people and the more you do things to help people and you do things to help clear people's image, sooner or later, they're going to come around and fuck you up. Excuse my French. Chris Starry, what's up, bro? Sooner or later, they're going to come around and, try to overtake you or try to belittle you or something. But I just look at it like it is what it is. It kills me. Because at the end of the day, whatever you done, stick to what you done. Now, the second thing, Dana didn't get invited to the gym by Robert. He got invited to the gym by Will. Let's clear that lie up. Me, Robert, Will, Keith, and another person, that part, Vi, that part. We was in a Sprinter all day. And what people don't understand is, what up, Davey? What up, Davey? My thing is, me and Will had a basketball game against each other. It was a robbery. And Rob was laughing the whole time. Rob said, oh, boy, I can't see this. So Will was at the gym way before I got there. And this is what I mean when I say, you know what? Hold on, y'all. Everybody say, shout out to Davey. Put shout out to Davey in the chat. That's what we're going to do. Shout out to Davey. And then put day one. Put shout out to Davey and then put day one in the chat. What you can't do is tell a lie and then tell the truth and put it together. You can't do that. And it's crazy because, thank you, Judah. I guess everybody else distracted doing something else. Shout out to Davey, day one. That's what I'm talking about. So, you can't lie and tell the truth. So, what it was when I got there, and I got there with those ladies who I refuse to acknowledge anymore. Because now, this shit's pissing me the fuck off. I knocked on the door. Don answered the door. I said, where Will? He said, Will ain't here. So me and him got into it, and I told him some explicit stuff, and get the F out my way, whatever. I see Will right there. Me and Will was supposed to play one-on-one. Because I helped out another so-called supposed to be supporter, I was $200 short of my $500 that I was betting Will for a one-on-one game. So that's where the animosity was at. So it is what it is. Me and Will end up playing on opposite teams, and then we got to it. Now, I'm not letting nobody ruffle my feathers. Angela, come on. This is me you talking about. So from that point, I'm trying to figure out, when did Will ever invite anybody to a gym? That's why I put on my community wall. From now on, since Valencia Love invited all these people, when Rob come home, don't ask Dana for shit. I don't know you. Anytime y'all want to get in touch with Rob, you go through Valencia Love, not DanaJay. Those doors are over with. I am not dealing with you people anymore. Because I understand y'all tactics, I understand y'all devices, and truth to be told, y'all can say what y'all feel. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is, they say I was the mole to set Robert up, right? We found out that wasn't true. They said I was testifying against Rob in court. We found out that wasn't true. They said I was stealing Robert money, even on down to certain people like Will that questioned me. We found out that wasn't true. I'm on 4 now. And I can keep going. They said that I'm being paid by Angelo Clary because I looked at the discrepancy of the text messages and I debunked it. Davey, that's the point. A bunch of nobodies. So, when these people talk about Rob personally invited us, that's a lie. And I'm going to be honest with you. That's a lie that I created to stroke their ego. Was I wrong? Yes, I was wrong. Because Rob didn't request nobody. Sorry to bust your bubble. Sorry to put it out there. Rob ain't request nobody. Rob wasn't even trying to be around nobody. It was me, but I said, Rob, this group of people coming, let's just meet up somewhere and say hello. Rob was like, cool. And for you, I do it. I turned around and told them, oh, Rob wants y'all to come up there. So that was my bad. If I was wrong for that, I could say I was wrong for that. But what was my motive for that? Shit. I ain't want y'all to just go to court. I wanted y'all to come and rally. So why not? If y'all gonna be there, shit, come a couple days early. Let me see if I can pull some strings and see if Robert can meet y'all somewhere. But the Warriors and them spoiled that. We standing outside of Trump. And the Warriors called me. Dana, have Robert came back yet? I said, nah, we gonna check it out tomorrow. He ain't here. Next thing I know, me and Rob outside of Trump talking about shows and about a tour and about this and about that. Next thing I hear, Kelly. They jumping out the cars and almost crashing to the Trump and they run, Kelly. I'm looking like, oh my God. Rob jumps behind me and then jumps behind the pylon like, yo, who are they? I said, man, they just some supporters that just saw you. So after we got finished talking and they taking pictures and they get to arguing out there a little bit, Rob said, yo, and we gonna meet up at a certain spot. Dana, I'm gonna let you know when everybody can come through. I said, okay, cool. I'm at my Airbnb, chilling, getting dressed, just got out the shower, just had a little fun. If you know what I mean, just had a little fun. I'm getting a call. Dana, where you at? I'm in an Airbnb. It was good. There's some ladies out here. Are they with you? I said, nah, I don't know them. Come to find out the Walrus in them, which is Sylvia, followed the Sprinter to the cigar bar, then jumped out on Rob. So once I got the call, and I told him, nah, I don't know them. I mean, I don't know where they are. Rob and Unc pulled off. Sylvia called me like, I'm here. And I said, yo, you shouldn't have did that. Next thing I know, Sylvia telling me that Demetria Pearsall is saying that why everything gotta go through Dana. I find out 2 years later that it was Sylvia saying that. Why everything gotta go through Dana? I'm tired of going through him. So they thought they can buy Rob, but they start bringing gifts and all that. And because I'm the only one that can go around them, I said, bring the gifts, and I take the gifts around to Rob. I told Rob, this is from Demi, from him to the light and all that. This is from Sylvia. I told him that. But they want to turn the truth, talking about Dana taking the credit and saying that he did this, did that. Man, listen. I don't have to try to buy a friendship with somebody I know. And what they leave out is when they ask Rob and the Sprinter. They said, well, how you know Dana? Rob said, I basically raised him. They turned around and said, oh, I wouldn't tell nobody else that. Now, what got me about that is when Dabowski even said, Dana allowed y'all to meet him, took y'all to him, and then you turn around and try to tell this man about somebody he know? When he said that That shocked me because I was like, damn, even he caught that. That's when I originally said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. And I watched everybody run to Don Russell. I've been telling y'all for 4 years, and I must say this, shout out to Hollywood Next. Because when he went on her platform, she was the first person to let me go on there and tell the people why not to follow Don Russell. Everybody turned on me and they started saying Don Russell's the muscle. Because he telling y'all that he got Rob's best interest at heart. Rob his brother. He doing this for Rob. He doing that for Rob. 4 years later, all them people, Don Russell, I'm mad at you. I'm this and this and this. And I'm sitting here laughing. What are you mad for? The Bible say warning come before destruction. I warned y'all for 4 years what was coming. And y'all told me I didn't know what I was talking about. So what y'all got to realize is last night was part 1. And what you have to realize is this right here. Tia Ewing, the first person to attack Tia was me. And you got to realize I know her. However, I didn't attack her and cuss her out and do all this stuff. No, I attacked her credibility. Because nobody else knew what I know. And the reason why I attacked her credibility is because for all the years Robert was mainstream, Tia Ewing has been his #1 fan. It wasn't until Robert got into it with the regional manager of WGCI that all of the personality turned on Robert. And Robert stopped going up there. So when Robert stopped interviewing at WGCI, going to WGCI, the smear campaign came about. Remember Surviving R. Kelly 1? And the young lady that had the nice, beautiful body, the one that was knocking on a studio talking about something, I know he got to be in there. That was Tia Ewing. So when I seen that, I made a flyer. And I had the flyer with Tia Ewing in the dumpster. When I got to WGCI, Tia Ewing was the one that came downstairs, came outside, and addressed me directly. And was talking to me about some lady that died that Roswell had dealt with. And I asked a question, and it might have been harsh. And the question was, a dead person can't talk, so why are you talking to me about a dead person? You know the truth. And then she shut up. And she shook her head and walked off. At the same time, the Walrus in them was saying, Dana, don't worry about it, and we got a rally to do. And I immediately went into prayer with the whole group that was there. Truth to be told, for people that want to claim rallies, nothing moved unless I said, let's go. And then the word was, oh, why haven't he did a rally since? I did the first 2. I said it from day one. I don't live in Chicago. I'm not from Chicago. And if people love Rob the way they say they do, there would have been a bigger rally, bigger than George Floyd, in Chicago. So me kicking off the first 2 rallies, you seen what happened after that. Daboski jumped on and did his rallies. One Papoose jumped on and did her rally. Sandra and them jumped on and they did their rally. It was supposed to catch fire. However, every rally is not the same. My first rally, it was the shortest one. Because we came together, we walked that whole block, and we circled WGCI and disrupted their 6 p.m. show. Then we disbanded and went to court. Second rally, We started at WGCI and we went down to the MCC. We ran into this lady, prayed for this lady who was about to kill herself because her son was falsely arrested. Now he's home and a manager of Home Depot. And she sent a thank you notice. So, and us going down to rally for Robert, when we got to the MCC, Robert even stated he was at his lowest point until he heard people say, "Free R. Kelly." And he said that made him feel real good. I showed y'all the notice. The warden went up and told him himself. Robert ain't get jumped on. Robert ain't get stomped. Robert ain't, matter of fact, but the MCC ain't get shut down. No, because everything was done in peaceful, godly type and in order. Will came out and prayed and everything. Cool. The next rally turned ratchet. I wasn't a part of it. They went down there, played music, danced on the wall, had a billboard, and with people heads cut off and disclaiming this, disclaiming that. Hey, that was that jump. Next one, Rob got jumped on. People want to grab the doors, bring them down, and we doing a well-being check. Who does a well-being check at jail? And I can keep going on and on and on. However, it's not that the rallies was done. It was the fact that it started catching on. Now, I can't tell everybody how to do a rally. That's what you choose to do. But anything I do, God is in the midst of it. That way I can't lose. And I take me out of it and put him in it. So, getting back to Don, I warn content creators, I warn bloggers, stay away from him. He's going to get you put into some sort of a RICO. If you remember, I said they didn't have a RICO on Rob. They started pushing a RICO 3 months after who? Don Russell appeared on YouTube. And everybody starts saying, "We gonna follow you, Don." And the first thing he told everybody to do, forget the lawyers, send letters to the judge on how you feel. What? That's gonna mess up everything. But before that, I'm not understanding how the city of Chicago allowed a rat to walk. I've showed a previous case where Don got a dude that was pretty much scot-free, locked up for the rest of his life because he got caught with a dime bag of weed. So if you get caught by CPD with a dime bag of weed and you snitch about something you knew, what make you think that when the feds roll up on you, you ain't gonna hop, skip, jump, bob, and weave and do everything else? Come on, man. He telling everybody, "Oh, I'm a big time manager. I manage artists. I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that." Well, when I called Roscoe Chicken and Waffle, he was there. And he was working. If I'm a big time manager and all this, I'm not working at no Roscoe's. I'm too busy getting my artists on shows, getting my artists booked, getting everything going on. Second thing, he said he didn't do nothing wrong. Well, I interviewed the lawyer that got the ball rolling in New York. For Faith. And she told me she had to leave Faith case for ethical issues. That means somebody was lying. That means somebody was falsifying evidence. And then when that lady talked to me, the Hush Puppy crew called Faith, and Faith called that lawyer and cussed her out and was threatening her. Why would you want to threaten somebody that walked you in the door of getting a bag? You don't bite the hand that feeds you. However, it's on record that you didn't have herpes. Or should I say, you had herpes, but you didn't give it to Rob. And it's also on record by your mama that you never had herpes. So I got done that's saying that you had herpes and you was trying to give it to him. And you and him supposed to have different strands. Which make me think, everybody that's born of a man or woman have herpes simplex 1. What does that mean? You have herpes simplex 1, which means cold sore availability in your body. It just lay dormant. But when it's activated, you will get a cold sore, you'll get a fever blister, you'll get a blister in your mouth, you'll get a bump like right here, or you'll get a bump there, or you'll get a bunch of bumps coming across here. If you put too much CarMax on, you'll start seeing bumps come up and stuff like that. That stuff activates it, right? So with that going on, right? With all that going on, how is it that all of us have herpes simplex 1? The question is, what strand did Faith have that Don's talking about? When Don sent the threatening letters back through the mail, the first thing he said was, Rob made me do it. I showed y'all the messages when Don threatened Rob through Sharon Wimbush. I showed y'all when the Warriors uncovered that June Barrett was not a notary, but she notarized the letter anyway, which she should be serving 3 years in jail right now with a $450,000 fine. Make this make sense. Then you hear the ladies talking about the bed bug was talking to Richard Arline. And then she recorded the phone call. And she gave the phone to Robert, and me and Robert went in the locker room. And then she said, oh, I don't know if Robert got to hear it because he overtalks everybody. No, I didn't overtalk nobody. Robert asked me who that was. And see, and this is what kills me. Because at that time, they were saying it was a dude named JoJo. Right. I'm going to get there, Prima. Shout out to Prima Donna. So when he kept asking me, who's JoJo? I said, I don't know. But they said it was JoJo, a dude now, for the dude down in Texas. Now y'all understand when JoJo the Ryan popped up, I automatically assumed it was Yo because of the connection between him and Tyson. So I had to apologize to JoJo, and I told him that was my bad. So now the truth come out, and they say it was Richard Arline. Well, why y'all didn't tell Rob that in the first place? because Richard was in the gym that night with Don. Richard left with Don. Don was calling Richard his brother. Would have run out. So that's why I say, like, I don't got a cap for nothing. Because if I start telling stories of how events happen, folks going to be looking. Because, see, what they ain't talking about is how when they got drunk and what happened. And I'll leave that there. However, it's some things that y'all miss. Don had sentencing, right? And some of the same people that helped Don do his crimes are some of the same people that wrote letters for Don. And I'm going to show the joint from last night. But let me put this up here real quick. Let's bounce that up there. Bang! Fair use joint. Let's get into this letter. Here we go. Dear Judge Donnelly, my name is June of the family Barrett. I am Donnell Russell's mother. Donnell is an heir of the Barrett family legacy, which has a history of helping others that began in the food service industry in the late 1940s. His early years were spent in the family's fourth grocery store located on Chicago's west side by the time he was born. Donnell, who was born on a Friday, is a Friday's child, who is loving and giving, which totally describes him to a T. As explained by my mother, his grandmother, he was always a happy and very expressive child growing up. His common quest is to enjoy the basic human desires to live a happy and meaningful life like most people, and he embraces the need to feel connected to others. What? His given nature has attracted individuals that see his willingness to help others as weakness to be taken advantage of. But even as I reflect on his past experiences, he's never become jaded when people have taken advantage of his giving and good nature. He always chalks it up to a lesson he needed to learn, which is one of his amazing characteristics. For givers like Donnell, his connection with others has taught him how to screen who he allows into the network of his life. It's been a consistent lesson for him on how to recognize who is authentic and who may have ulterior motives. Donnell, as a performing artist, has traveled the world and received so much appreciation from the audiences he's performed in front of. But instead of receiving the same or any level of appreciation from individuals he helps, he usually receives envy, jealousy, and condemnation from stagnated individuals that can't seem to relate to his expanding knowledge and world experiences. But Donnell believes in giving them the benefit of a doubt, that eventually they will come to appreciate what he offers. Even though they usually don't, it doesn't stop Donnell from assisting the next individual, because he believes in developing people, no matter what their circumstances are. While living in California for a year. Hold up, wait a minute. He said he lived out there for 4 years. While living in California for a year, providing risk management services for a longtime colleague for his chain of restaurants, Donnell saw the opportunity to give out meals to the homeless in the area. He developed a giving program where all the unsold food dishes, they was usually thrown away, were put into takeout meal containers After everything was packed, a few of the food prep team members would pack the containers in their cars and drive to different sites where the homeless had tents pitched to distribute the meals each evening. Donnell has always tried to reduce other people's suffering. He's actually driven by his need to assist others with improving their life, but very seldom does the personal recipient of his offers and sacrifices show much gratitude until they realize that they've lost in him as a friend. We live in a world that is filled with traumatized people. And even though Donnell has experienced traumas as a youth in his own life, he doesn't live a life of woundology. He doesn't inflict any trauma within his relationships. On the contrary, he tries to assist others with a path to stealing. Like how Donnell is a sole provider for an 8-year-old child who has experienced trauma from being abandoned by an unfit mother that lost custody of her son to the Department of Human Services that, let's see, hold on. That importance or otherwise the child could falter. Donnell's also in a relationship with his female partner. Wait a minute, I thought he was married. So he's not even married. Donnell's also in a relationship with his female partner, where he's assisting her as co-provider as well as a father figure role model for her 3 young sons, ages 19, 16, and 9. They have developed a good partnership in business that has the potential to grow into something solid. With the right commitment, Donnell's extensive business knowledge and continuous presence is necessary for that solid growth to happen. Donnell was always encouraged and supported to develop his own pathways as a performing artist and not wait for opportunities, but to make things happen. This led him to his first business venture at 19. He called it YBM, which stood for Young Black Men, that produced a tap dance review that toured the Chicago public schools for three school years. He has a very hardworking attitude, always spending long hours, 7 days a week developing his business venture. His current venture, Indie Build, is a robust compilation and accumulation of his 35 plus years in the performing and creative arts geared to assist unseasoned and seasoned artists to a path that provides all the resources needed to develop a successful independent community. He's providing the next generation of artists with a valuable resource that took him years to figure out as a means to give back to the future. Donnell would never use or participate in anything that could hurt or bring harm to another. What? He freely shares information that provides tested solutions like Indie Build does because he's so thoughtful and considerate towards others. He really tries to assist individuals with developing a skill to uplift them that the world needs. His agenda has always been to become useful, caring, and connected, but his valuableness isn't always recognized, embraced, or appreciated. But he helps people anyway. As Donnell's mother, I know my son is someone who cares about others and freely shares what he's learned that could assist them with solving their problems. Someone who understands what's in it for them. There's no limit to what a giving soul like Donnell can accomplish or the peace and joy he seeks in his own existence. He's a great provider and protector by nature. We've been a great mother-son team in business, as well as dynamic friends. Hold on. We've been a great mother-son team in business, okay, as well as dynamic friends. That's the problem. You're not his mother, you're his friend. We have an impenetrable bond that can never be broken. It's troubling to me how a man that has done so much for his fellow man and society as a whole is now facing being cut off from transforming people's bad news into good news. Thank you for allowing me to offer my personal testament. Sincerely, by June of the family Barrett, all rights reserved. You know what I think about that.
Oh, Jordan, roll. Roll, excuse me. Roll, Jordan, roll. Look at my soul on the rise.
I'm just saying. I have two questions for Ms. June, aka Smoking the Fire. When Sean needed help, where were you? When you let Darnell do things to Sean to hurt her and to injure her, where were you? You just said that he have a partner. He said he's married. One of you are lying. You never talked about his underage baby mama. Oh, I'm sorry, you did. And you said that she lost custody. She was 15. He was 30-something. Let's make that make sense. Let's go to the next one. Now, here's what's gonna get me. This one is from his wife. Uh-oh. Your mama said she your partner. But now we got some stuff in the works. But before we go there, Prima Donna said, how was June Barrett power of attorney? She wasn't. So let's go here. My name is Alicia Russell. I am Darnell Russell's wife. Hold on. The mama just said that you was a partner, but now you claiming to be the wife. Okay. My name is Alicia Russell. I am Darnell Russell's wife. We have 4 amazing boys, ages 18. Hold the fuck up. Hold on. Before I go there, let's do this. Let's do this. This is June Barrett. Darnell's also in a relationship with his female partner. Y'all see this, right? Where he's assisting her as co-provider as well as a father figure role model for her 3 young sons, ages 19, 16, and 9. Can somebody put 19? No. Can somebody put in the chat female partner, then put 19, 16, and 9 in the chat? I need somebody to put female partner, 19, 16, and 9 in the chat. This is what I mean when I say people cover for liars, man. People cover for con artists. EJ put it there. Cool. So let's go here. Female partner, 19, 16, and 9. Okay, cool. Female partner, 1916-9. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here. Female partner, 1916-9. Female partner, 1916-9. Somebody lying. My name is Elisa Russell. I am Donnell Russell's wife. We have 4 amazing boys, ages 18, 15, 9, and 8. Hold on. The ages don't match up. 18, 15, 9, and 8. 19, 16, and 9. Whoo-wee! I'm just saying. We also run multiple businesses on a daily basis that we run together. I am the executive director of the Altitude program, NFP TAP. Wait a minute. Huh? That's the same organization that he was saying if you want to help Rob, go through the TAP program. But she runs it. What the heck? As the ED in this position, I have assisted in raising capital, collaborating partnerships and agreements to complete the construction phase of our 55,000 square feet property in the North Lawndale community on the west side of Chicago. Oh, now that makes sense. Don was trying to swindle the money from Robert to help build this joint. Oh, wow. But she the one that runs it. Ooh. We have had several meetings with our local alderman and congressman that is currently seated in office, which both have provided us with full support. Since being with Don, he has helped me to raise my posture, confidence, and different perspectives while handling business. In January of 2022, I met Don. Hold the hell up. Y'all not about to play with me like this. See, Yeah,
See, the devil busy. See, the devil want that stupid. But
y'all not about to play with me like this. In January of 2022, I met Don in one of the most unexpected times of my life. After our first date, we would spend hours and hours on the phone with each other. If we weren't on the phone, we were meeting up to see each other. We started to become inseparable. It truly felt like love at first sight. As of today, we still laugh at how we would act as though we were high school lovebirds. Y'all don't even love each other. Y'all in lust. Oh my God, you don't even know this dude. And what up, DV Wild? You don't even know this dude. Oh my God. Although we had just met, it was such the perfect time for God to bless me with a man like him. There are givers and takers in this world. Don is such a giver. Huh? Every time we would dine out, he always requests to go back. He always requests a to-go bag to wrap up the leftovers and give them to someone on the street who reveals to be homeless. Yeah, after you pay for it. There was another time we were traveling back to Chicago from California from one of our in-person board meetings. We had been discussing with a young lady about how the planes were late. During our conversation with the young lady, the announcement was delivered through the intercom system. Flight XXX has been canceled. Don immediately noticed the look on the young lady's face, that she had nowhere to go now and was basically stranded. Don immediately wanted me to ask her if she needed a ride or a hotel stay because we had not checked out of our room. So we were able to go back and she could sleep in the other room that was booked for one of our partners. She, on the other hand, explained with frustration that she had no money and had just gotten dropped off from a family member that lived hours away. She declined the hotel stay, and Don quickly pulled out a $100 bill and gave it to her for bus fare. It is moments like this that I experience almost daily with being with my husband, which lets me know that he has a good heart and cares for others. What the fuck? It was after 3 weeks of knowing each other, we both felt as though this was God sent.
Oh, but my body's telling me yes, baby. I don't want to hurt nobody, but there is something that I must confess. Turn that shit off. Yeah, I'm killing.
See, the devil busy. See, the devil won't act stupid. But he got double.
It was after 3 weeks of knowing each other, we both felt as though this was God sent. Everything was so perfect. The only thing that was a challenge was the fact that he was from the west side and I lived on the south side of Chicago. It was almost a 45-minute commute to visit him. So we would begin to take turns on whose house, what's up, Atmos? On whose house we would come to and spend the night to stay with each other. We also planned our first family trip. It seemed a little uncommon to our friends because normally things just don't happen so soon. But they began to believe that we were meant for each other because it became a point when we were never not around each other. So on the weekend that we planned the family trip, a sudden change happened with our son Dayton. His mother, Portia, was into drugs really bad. Oh my God, really? So we ended up getting a call from DCFS and provided with an emergency order for Dayton to come and live with Don. It was all unexpected, but Don realized that everything we were doing. Wait a minute, Portia was young. Portia's underage. Oh my God, what happened? Hold on. I don't want to go back to that. Okay. We got another one. I don't know what happened to it. My name is Clyde L. Amin. I am a nonprofit consultant and board member, retired community college leader and entrepreneur. I am aware of the case involving Mr. Don Russell, and I am writing this letter on his behalf. I have worked with Mr. Russell as a partner in building a business from the ground and advised him is starting a not-for-profit focusing on developing youth and up-and-coming entrepreneurs. I met Don Russell in 2014 when he was first founding and launching what is now Indie Build Corp. Impressed with his knowledge and commitment to help young artists, I became a small investor and then joined in as an officer and board member. He had an unrelenting commitment to helping young, up-and-coming artists, writers, and business people succeed in their careers and avoid the common pitfalls of the industry. He, like I, was also committed to developing media to service their goals. When that company became successful in introducing young urban summer workers to journalism, I consulted him on launching a not-for-profit organization to help urban youth prepare for careers in media. He has succeeded at building the for-profit business to help self-manage entertainment careers and the not-for-profit organization, to the point that they both have become extraordinary assets to his native Chicago West Side community, and to people wanting a way to start and maintain a career in multiple areas of media. Don is doing this work primarily on the west side of Chicago, where he grew up, because he is devoted to uplifting his community. It is one of the neediest communities in Chicago and is very close to where he grew up. He is relentless in his commitment to this community near where he grew up, and the residents are already benefiting from the jobs one construction project is providing. This commitment is only matched or may be exceeded by his commitment to family, which to Don may also include what some may consider extended family. Don's skill and raw commitment has made him successful in the endeavors he puts his mind to. It has also made him very valuable to his family workers, those served by his organizations, and sometimes even to strangers who ask. He is smart, fair, dealing. He is a smart, fair dealing person, a businessman who will sacrifice to make business successful, but will work even harder if he knows his success will change lives of others. Don may have to be held back from extending himself to help someone he believes is in trouble sometimes, even at the risk of putting himself in need. This is the Don I have witnessed. Don has continued unrelentingly to work on delivering the projects he has promised to deliver to his community, ambitious and talented disadvantaged or challenged young people, his investors, and his family. I humbly ask, being honest before Almighty God, that the side of Don I have presented be considered in your decision. Okay. So with that being said, I want to know, is this the same Don that they talk about? This is Tia Ewing and Early Walker page. The part 2 will be out in 5 days. So check this out.
It was a lawsuit that came in, man, at 250,000, and you're gonna use herpes as a way to get the shit. I don't have no fucking herpes. I asked him, did he have it? He said no. He lied. Found out later that he did. It was a different strain from hers though. So, and then her sister came out and said that bitch was trying to give him herpes. It was a lawsuit that came in demanding 250,000, and you're gonna use herpes as a way to get the shit. I don't have no fucking herpes. I asked him, did he have it? He said no. He lied. Found out later that he did. It was a different strain from hers though. So, and then her sister came out and said that bitch was trying to give him herpes.
Obviously, you know about the king of R&B, R. Kelly, sitting behind bars for 30 years for sex trafficking, racketeering, and the list goes on.
I am reporting this. So this is a report that's going on. Let's check it out.
I don't mind want to hear that shit, but that's the fucking truth.
First, thanks for joining us today. So for the viewers and listeners, first, I guess let's start with, who are you?
I'm Don Russell, Donnell Russell. I guess otherwise known as R. Kelly's manager, but really not. So yeah, entrepreneur from the west side of Chicago, born and raised in Chicago, and proud husband, father, and you know, and that's pretty much who I am.
So one thing you said there is known as R. Kelly's manager, but really not. So let's start with this. How did you meet R. Kelly?
Performing in the subway when I was 12, 13. Me and my brother my cousin, we used to go down to the subway and we used to tap dance. And we met him, it was Washington Street, Washington in the subway. And this is one of those things commonly known amongst the street performers is like the hot spot. And then there was an odd end of Washington that was even better. We went down to our regular spot, which was Washington. After we get out of school, we go get our tap shoes, our boards, and we go shoot down there. And he just happened to be on our spot. So we kind of sat there. We kind of knew all of the janitors and stuff that worked in the subway. And we were sitting there because we was pissed. Like, this is our money spot. Dude is on here singing and stuff. Like, he got to go. so our janitor came over. He's like, yo, man, what's up? He's like, I got you. So he went and, because he was sitting on the bench. And the bench is where people sat at waiting for the train. So he told him, listen, you got to get up. You can't sit on the bench and do what you're doing. So oddly enough, he waited and started packing his stuff up. But before he left, he said, hey, actually, can I do 2 more songs? And the janitor was like, yeah, okay, you can do 2 more songs. And he did this McDonald's song that he had. And every kid loved McDonald's, right? So we sitting back, and he did this sweet apple pie, da-da-da-da-da, what I was singing. And I was like, he can stay.
It was that good?
It was that good.
Wow.
Like, he blew it out like just McDonald's. Like, who sings about McDonald's? And
right.
It should have been a commercial. But so we went over and started talking to him and was like, yo, man, what's up? We know him here, but, you got some good songs and stuff. We like to, can you do the McDonald's song again? And then we're going to go find another spot. And I went in my pocket, gave him some change.
Wow.
And we went to another spot, and that was it. So he didn't stay down that long, probably about a year or something. His tenure lasted in the subway. And then that was it. But that's where we originally met, in the subway street performing.
Okay. And so now how did that lead to you being, and we'll get into, I guess, what title you want to, what title do you want to be called? We'll go that route because you're saying
people are
calling you the manager. What title were you hired as it relates to?
I was never hired. So one, I would say friend first, who saw another friend in a dire position, and I came in to assist him. So what made sense at that point was consultant and advisor, but the true realm of our relationship was I was an investor. I had a digital music platform called IndieBill, where we launch independent artists and we give legacy artists a second, chance. And at that particular point, in his career, the label, his music sales were kind of, going down, and his relationship with the label was tarnished. So I said, listen, it's time for you to, do something different. So I said, let's launch some music on IndieBill. So and the reason I moved into the investor position was because he was broke. He had just launched a song, I Admit. I was actually headed to California to work with my uncle at the time, and I heard the song on the way there, and turned around and came back, and met him at the studio, and it was like, we met, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, saying ain't so.
Now, just for timeline purposes, this is in 2018?
2018, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is 2018. And this is like all of the years from the street performing. We would run into each other periodically, but he was in the music game and I was in the theater game initially, because me and my brothers, we tap danced. So we went off and did, Broadway, we did river dance, noise funk. I tapped out of the country for about 4 or 5 years. Amsterdam, Sweden, Switzerland, Denmark, and then came back, and tapping was becoming a pain. Like my knees and all that stuff was, aching because I did a lot of high energy stuff, flipping and stuff like that. So I went to California, where I settled there and kind of got behind the scenes in the music business and television, stuff like that. And that was it, So we kind of knew each other in passing because we were in the same industry, which is entertainment, but our careers were miles apart. He was on the way up the mountain, and I was kind of, on the hill. It's different. So That's essentially, where it all began. And, but that was the familiarity that we had with each other, was that good old brothers from Chicago, from the West Side, from the subway, and that's like a brotherhood. I mean, so anybody who makes it out the subway to do something big, that's a sensation, especially to the other person. So when I heard the song I Admit, and had heard in 2018, when he lost that he didn't own any of his music and stuff like that, it was like, how did that happen? Now, I've been, in my career, I've been A&R over at Sony, A&R for Universal, MCA, and I've owned a recording studio. I produced artists, I managed artists. I've had a very extensive career in the music industry by this time. I'm like, well, there's only several ways that could have happened. So let me go back and question him and see where he actually sits at, in that little, whatever took place. So, I drove back to the studio, and we had a, Q&A session right in front of everybody, and he was looking around. He was getting his hair cut. He said, hold on, man. I ran into your brother. And I was like, yeah? I ain't seen my brother in years. He's like, yeah, he had a real important message he wanted me to deliver to you. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, let's go in the back. It's kind of private. I don't want none of these guys knowing. And I was like, okay. So I'm going to the back. Close the doors. He said, man, I ain't seen your brother. He said, but I needed to get you away from all those guys because you were talking a lot of good stuff, and I didn't want them to know nothing about what you were saying because I don't trust none of them. None of the people in that front there, I don't trust any of them. So I was like, so what's going on? And that's when he broke it down to me. He was like, I don't own nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, Rob, how the hell did you get into that position? You know what I mean? He's like, well, about a month ago, everybody walked out on me and they left everything and they left me with nothing. I don't know what to do. I can't read, I can't this and all this stuff, so I don't know how to figure this stuff out. And I was like, whoa, okay. So I said, all right, well, listen, I got a team, company, we do technology, I've got lawyers, everything. Why don't we unravel and kind of structure everything to see what things are? So that was the beginning, that day, literally in the studio. It was a 3-hour meeting between me and him in the studio. He said, I'm one, you two, and that's it. I was like, okay. So the position that I left out of that was consultant and advisor. Okay. It wasn't manager, any of that stuff. It was consultant.
So let's back up a little bit. I heard you say that you came in investment wise. So, and if you don't want to share this, but how much did you actually invest?
Roughly about a little bit over $300,000.
$300,000? Okay.
And in what way?
So he had, so the first thing that we had to do was we had to he was going through that moment where Sony was in the process of, releasing him from the, terminating his contract from the label. And there was money owed there. So we had to bring in lawyers to kind of shift through that. Then there was people who wanted him to tour, but he had no way to get out on the road because both his buses was broke down. I mean, he was just literally in that kind of a financial. He didn't even have a bank account. He had no bank account, no ID. People around him was leaving and they were stealing things. I mean, so, and that was part of the plot and the agenda.
Hold on. So if he didn't have a bank account, which we know, and that's where your mama came and play at. If he didn't have no ID, how did you get the ID? How did you get his passports? How did you get his signature? How did you get his Sony portal? Those are questions that need to be asked and answered.
For a lot of the folks that left out, they knew what was going on ahead of time as far as his lifetime thing. So they left with memorabilia or whatever they could take, and that's what happened. So when I got to him, he didn't have, I mean, literally, I was at his apartment, and I'm like, we sitting down, we talking. He's like, man, that's all the money I got to my name. And it was like $300 in singles sitting, on next to the bed. I'm like, you kidding me? I'm like, come on, Rob, stop playing. That's it. And I was so I had to go. I have shareholders for my company, and I had to authorize writing, my checks. So I gave him some cash for his pocket, by that time, we had started getting a lot of his bills and things of that nature in, and started going through stuff to see exactly what he was, and everything was behind. So his studio was almost $1 million behind, and it was a lease to own. His rent was 3 or 4 months behind. So I went through and negotiated with the owners of the facility, and I paid them I paid them 60 twice and 40 as far as money to them to get him out of that hole with the studio. And then I paid to get his buses back fixed because neither one of the Sprinters worked. And he had a tour bus that wasn't working either. So we got both of those, the Sprinters, operable. And then he had a Friday night listening party that he used to do every Friday. And I sponsored that. My company sponsored it because I thought it was advantageous for us to do that because putting the banner up at an R. Kelly listening party was good, you know. And he would be launching his next couple of albums on our platform, so I thought it made sense. So we invested in hopes of getting a return from that investment had he launched those 2 albums that Sony released him with. That he owed those to Sony, but they said they didn't want them. They openly said that, but that's not contractually what they did. So, you know, our goal was to launch those albums on the platform, and, you know, we could have potentially made about $16 million from that, from data sales and his fan base coming over to our platform. So that was the initial driving force. We got this platform.
Pay attention. We drop an album, his fans come over to our platform, and we get the money. For y'all that haven't been around that long, remember when the I Admit Put Together album dropped? And I told y'all who was behind that? If you listen to what Don's saying, he's indirectly telling you what he did. He dropped the album on iTunes and everywhere first. I told y'all whoever have the portal is able to do things. So he dropped that first. Then he went to the fake Joycelyn page. I told y'all that too. And you see the album was still up there. They were still promoting it. So if he's promoting that on the fake Joycelyn page, who you think is behind that with him? The Savages, right? Make it make sense. I keep telling y'all, ain't none of their hands clean. Let's finish.
Is growing, become a, you know, industry name. Drop R. Kelly out on it. You know what I mean? That takes us up the mountain a little bit, and that was it. So that was the initial plan. You know, that we saw as our reason for being a part of this thing, investing energy and time into getting him clean.
Next thing, you heard his #1 ballpark figure, TBD. Sit back and tell y'all Don felt like nobody supported him. What have Don done that we should support? That I Admit album. You see how when it got pulled, ain't nobody checked for that Phantom website, have they? That's all you gotta do is sit back and watch and look at the nuggets. Follow the money. That's all you gotta do is follow the money. And I still say this. For one slapjack over there, ain't no need to backtrack because you was Don Russell's #1 supporter, you and TBD. So y'all get exactly what y'all deserve. A slap in y'all damn face. Let's finish. What up, Faces?
So that we can launch him on a digital platform. And that's what I spoke to him about. I said, Rob, you got to diversify. I said, you're the only artist right now that doesn't have anything outside of music to live off of. You don't have any beverage companies that you're in partnership with. You don't have any technology. Let's put you on this digital platform. Use it to put your music. And he had movies and commercials, a whole bunch of stuff that he had, you know, and behind the other, I call them doors of his talent revolving career. And I'm like, man, what the hell? You got some movies you done wrote? And I said, let's start working on some of that and let's put the music behind. Let's do a theatrical for Vegas or something, you know. That's what I was coming to him saying, let's do that kind of stuff. But, You know, the music was what he was in love with. I mean, so, and that's what we can go and check a bag quick. I mean, you know, it was like he so broke. You know, we had promoters that, you know, took advantage of that. So they would offer him, you know, some dates, and we had to go out and go do them. So that was it.
Did you get a return on your investment?
No, not monetarily, no, because, you know, well, I'll say yes. I mean, because I did shut down the office, like probably 4 months in. Our lease was up. COVID was kicking, and one of the investors that's one of my investors, he wanted to meet him, and I said, okay, I'll arrange a meet with you guys, and we did a cigar sit down at the studio. We all smoked cigars, drank cognac. They laughed with him for hours, and when he left the meeting the next day, he said, Don, listen, I hear he's losing his studio, you know. And when this wasn't because he was losing it because of the money, because we had caught him up and had an arrangement with with the landlord. The city wanted him out. This is when the city came through and all of that stuff, right? They said, tell him fuck the studio.
So we're fast forwarding. What year are we in now?
Same year. Now, this all. Okay, let's clear this. I was only around 8 months.
Okay.
I'm done by then. So by 2018.
So from 2018. You literally were only around 8 months.
That's it.
Okay.
By a year, I was definitely done.
Okay.
So it took about a year. It's like, you know, when you're breaking up 4 months, 4 months, you know, is what you.
Let me ask y'all this question. If he was only around 8 months, right, from 2018 to 2019 at best, he said after a year he was done. So 2019 he was done. Why was he still coming on people's channels talking about he for Rob and Rob his brother and he doing this and he doing that and he doing that? His whole job was to stop anybody from helping Rob or from Rob getting any help. His main focus was the R. Kelly Defense Fund. So if he was done a year into that, the funds that he wanted for the TAP initiative, where was that going to go? And the funds that he wanted for Kelly for Justice, where was that going to go? And the funds that he wanted for the $1 Million Initiative, where was that going to go? The funds that he wanted from the R. Kelly rights to the R. Kelly story, but that he tried to do through the guy from the Inquirer, where was them funds going to go? Can anybody answer? That means when he came on TBD channel and everybody else channel, he was lying. And he telling you, he was definitely done after a year being in. That falls in line to when I said, when I went up there end of 2019 and Rob told him, man, F you, man, get the F out my face before I slap you, nigga. Him and Richard Arline got dressed and left. But I was called a liar. See, everything he's saying, it falls in line with everything I'd said. But you know what they say? The real people that know, we gets no credit. The fake people that don't know, they gets all the credit. Let's finish.
The other 8 months, 4 months of it is breaking up. So, and then I had staff that was still working with him on certain things too. So that lingered while I went back out to Cali. But yeah, we're talking about within an 8 month period. Because I mean, we wasn't in there to be friends. We in there to make money. I mean, I got a company I'm running.
Hold up. What did he say? We wasn't in there to make friends. I was there to make money. But I thought Rob was your brother. Which means that when he turned back around, he seen dollar signs. That I admit, he seen dollar signs with that. He seen a way of capitalizing off of Rob. But he didn't. Let's finish.
President CEO of my company. You know, this is a diversion that we thought would work in the form of if we get in here and this guy launches his music on our platform and other intellectual properties on our platform. That's like, you know, that's golden. You can't pay for that. So that was our drive.
Listen, He said, dropping his music on our platform. Well, you see the I Admit album is on his platform. Dropping intellectual properties. You seen him pull up on certain people's channels with Rob intellectual properties. Then you seen it mysteriously hop up on eBay to be sold. I'm just saying the stuff that people overlook.
Forceful and investing quickly, and this is the king of R&B. A lot can be done, and I'm sorry, you look at my schedule. You can add, my schedule is nothing compared to what his would be. I mean, you can take 5 or 6 pages of his schedule. Mine is 1. Now it turns into 10 pages if I'm managing somebody like him, I'm working with somebody like him. So I can understand where people came into the role, where people came into the concept that I was his manager, because at that particular point, he had no management. His manager was Henry Mason, who had abandoned him pretty much and was stealing money from him. Prior to that, it was Artie Pabone. Prior to that, it was Daryl McDavid, and then before that was Barry Hankerson. At that particular point, everybody had abandoned him. So I was essentially doing the job of management, but I was not his manager.
So it's interesting you're saying that, because if he had no manager, everyone is pretty much titled you as his manager. I mean, pretty much you were his manager.
Well, no, because
what's the difference between
what you were doing
versus what a manager would be doing?
Me taking on responsibilities because there was nobody in place is one thing. A manager gets paid to be manager. He gets 20%. I ain't get nothing. I'm spending money. I'm investing.
Well, initially, in new artistry, you know this to be true because you're in the industry and R. Kelly wasn't new at that particular time, but you might as well say he was new because he was broke. So you're coming in trying to revive his career. You saw an angle, you saw an opportunity, you executed, hoping that you would get a return, which in essence that is management.
No, it's not, because one, he was still under contract with James Mason as his manager, so that would have been a conflict. One, James could have took him to court any time. But no, I mean, that's me stepping into something that I shouldn't be doing. If I'm general manager and we can't, and your goal is to, get this thing going and moving down the road, but it's stopping because there's nobody sitting in this handling these things, you don't let the machine not go forward because these things are not being attended to. You find a way to get those things done so you can keep moving forward. That was more of it for me. It was like, okay, this shit here ain't getting done. And I'm tired of going in my pocket to pay stuff that, if we get this stuff figured out, it could pay for it. And the it is, where's his royalties going? Where's his publishing going? Because that money coming in on a quarterly basis would cover him. And then it would get out of my pocket and back in his, and I could cover things that moves the mission forward, and his daily bread is already taken care of by his earnings. So he had no one securing or even knowing where his earnings were going. They were going so many different places.
So that's why you're saying you were a business consultant.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go with that. That's your title, business consultant. So now let me ask you this before we fast forward. Was there a written contract?
No, never.
So how did you think, or you just basically was what, shaking hand type of agreement, or as far as you recouping your money?
Well, also I'm recouping my money from my platform. I mean, I own the platform. So I mean, if I put his album out, I mean, you can put music out on Facebook right now and don't have an agreement with them. They're gonna still make $20 million off you, or something close to it, because they sell your data. They get advertising because of you and your fans that come and their engagement. They sell all their stuff. So I wasn't giving a care about this. Just put the music out on our platform. You're going to continue to be you. We're going to be us. And when these people come in to access your music or your intellectual property, we get all that data. And we mine the data. And not only we mine it, we get advertising because of the data, because of this new influx of fans that's coming because R. Kelly's on our platform. And if he's on it, then guess who else? He's going to bring some other people on it. Some other folks are going to come. So that's what we...
that was the initial. So let me ask you this: prior to R. Kelly, were there any other major names that you were involved with business wise, or was R. Kelly your biggest client?
Oh no. I mean, I've been in. Yeah, I mean, I've had. Well, let me rephrase that. R. Kelly was the biggest person that I personally worked with at that capacity, meaning all in. I mean, you know, this is somebody we can. It's like getting the Jay-Z or somebody like that to, you know, promote your brand. You know what I'm saying? Him, if he drinks this one day, that's it. It takes off, right? So that's how. So he was the biggest person at that point that we did have our hands around that would promote the Indie Bill brand. Now I've worked with tons of artists. I can go down the list of A-level artists. I mean, I don't keep them in my head because but B.B. Winers, Michael Jackson, Luther Vandross. I've produced Kid Rock, Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac, associate producer on both of their shows. We go over to theater. You talk about Gregory Hines, Savion Glover. I can go on and on. I mean, I went from a kid that did theater at the highest level and came back and went to L.A. and dived immediately into the music business because that's what was cracking. My manager was Dick Scott. Dick Scott managed New Kids on the Block. He managed LL Cool J. He managed Maurice Starr, who had New Edition. They all worked for his company. So Dick would take me, because he didn't know what to do with a tap dance and my music thing wasn't as strong then, he would take me to meetings and I would be like his gopher. You know what I mean? And he would, you know, essentially, you know, say, son, get your briefcase, the older guy. And when you drive me to this meeting, I got with Norman Lear, you know what I mean, or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Some of the biggest names in the world. So I would show up in a suit, get in this car, drive him to the meeting, carry his bag in, and he would tell me to go sit over there and don't say shit. And I'd be like, okay. And he would be in a room with some of the highest names in the industry, and they would be making deals like, you know, right here sitting at this table. And they would be like, Dick, you're an old guy. You don't know shit. And it would be Norman Lear here, Lucian Grind sitting right there. And these are names that if you're in the industry, you know who they are, right? And he's like, I'm telling you, this is going to be a fucking hit. It's going to be great. And he would call me, come here, son. And he would whisper some shit in my ear and sit down, which basically says sit down and shut the fuck up. And I'd be like, okay. And they look over like, what did he just get from him? So they would think Dick's ideas was coming
So
from
he
me
have his
or somebody
partner
else.
/ wife
And
sitting
he
next to
was the
him.
job or the investment capital because they thought he was plugged into the youthful, you know, the youth. And we was feeding him stuff and he was feeding it to them. So I got in a lot of rooms with some of the top names in the industry. I mean, you can tell on a daily basis. You have, I mean, Dark Child will call me one day, Barry Gordy the next, Kerry Gordy, Barry's son the next day. I mean, he was the first person that there was an opportunity for me to have a company that I owned, have a business relationship with that person. I'm a entrepreneur, fresh in the gate, technology, you know, moved over from entertainment to technology, and my first client could potentially be R. Kelly. That's pretty good. I mean, so that's from where I was coming from with this thing. That's why I was so committed to making it happen, because what kid gets that? And I started thinking maybe God introduced me to this guy in the subway just for this moment to happen. You know, me to get this technology project to a certain point when we're ready to launch it off. And I just happened to know R. Kelly, who needs somebody like me at this moment. So that was the whole gist of how I looked at the partnership and what drove my energy to making sure we were just as accurate and as on point as I felt he should have been. I'm looking at the King of R&B. I'm not knowing that he was handling his A-level career like he was still a street performer. I didn't know that. You had to get in there to see that this shit is a hot fucking mess. You can't see that from the outside. It's like a beautiful woman walking down the street, and you take her home and she start taking off her hair, and she got 15 fucking kids and shit. And you're like, you should have told me this before we got naked. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't do that. So that's
8 months. 8 months was your time with R. Kelly. Yeah. And within those 8 months, you acquired all of these charges.
Right. You go from being seen in the public as a manager to, quote, an intimidator, almost like a mob boss for R. Kelly. How?
8 months?
Because I didn't cooperate.
Break that down for us.
I mean...
Well, before that, let's talk about the charges. Because I think that's relevant, because I know the last interview you did at that particular
with
time, you had charges, and this was with Tasha K. Probably a little over a year ago now.
Yeah,
And at that time, you hadn't been convicted of anything.
Right.
The charges were pending.
Right.
So talk about the charges, and then we'll go into what you were actually found guilty of, because that's why we're here today. So what were the charges?
Well, they've sentenced you to 20 months in prison, and they're saying for stalking an R. Kelly victim and her mother. And then they also go on to talk about the Facebook page that was created, Surviving the Lies, and also an Instagram account, Surviving the Lies, right?
I never had Instagram.
Okay. But at least the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And the posting of new pictures on there, text messages, etc.
Well, that's not even. See, that's all a lie. I mean, because first.
So
of all,
you didn't do any of this?
No, Facebook doesn't.
Well,
allow
so what were you charged with?
Well, what she stated was what I was charged with.
Okay.
It was interstate stalking, and then the other one was the venue. It was calling a threat at the New House, which is where the premiere of Surviving R. Kelly was. So those are the two charges. I went to court and fought out one of them, and I mean, we both were there. From the court that I sat in.
I just need you to shut the fuck up, cause nobody asked you, bitch. I need you to shut the fuck up, bitch. 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 Bow, bow, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bow, bow, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bow, bow, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bow, bow.
The way it did, I should have got it not guilty. And then because of what we witnessed happen, it was like, I'm not paying another $100,000 to go over here into the lady who just gave R. Kelly 30 years. Right. You know, and that was per the advice of my attorney too. He's like, Don, you're gonna lose. I mean, it's like a fixed deck. I mean, that's literally, I'm sorry, that is what it is. And I'll say that directly into the camera. It was a fixed deck. The prosecutor knows that, and I'm not gonna say the prosecutor's office is bad, but there's somebody in the prosecutor's office that has a thing up their ass to bring down the king of R&B, which they've done that, and they don't care about the collateral damage. I'm collateral damage. I'm collateral damage because I did not cooperate. When they called me earlier on in the case, they asked me, Don, will you cooperate? And I told them no. I said the things that I'm doing, I don't think they're going to help your case. Furthermore, I'm in Chicago. How the hell do I look in Chicago going against this dude? And you see what's happening right now. It's like it doesn't take a rocket science, then I'm going to be getting threats and all type of shit if I come out and say I have a problem with anything. And the things that I had researched at that time were still unclear. We had not completed our work. You know, we were finding out a lot of stuff about.
Did he say he didn't cooperate? But this dude is on record under plea negotiations. You can't get under plea negotiations without cooperating. Oh, God, Jesus Christ.
What was going on with his royalties and who was stealing stuff and all this shit, but it wasn't complete. We're talking about 8 months. I mean, so my team got in and we were working every day to unravel this hornet's nest of shit that was surrounding his career. You got to get through all that before you figure out what happened. And you do that how? By chasing the money. You follow the money. Wherever the money's going, chances are you're going to find some truth out of it. You're looking for money over here, you're going to run into 10 other things before you get to the money that shine the light on the truth. And
well, let me ask you this, not to interrupt you. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're talking about the feds. This was a federal case. Mm-hmm. We know, the feds have a very high conviction rate. And right. Normally when they come for you, they know what they know. They got hard evidence. They got hard facts. That's what the norm is. Right. So in this case, you're saying that that's not true.
You're saying you did not stalk and you did not call in that bomb threat. That was actually shown in the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. You didn't do any of that.
There was never.
Well, they faked. They showed the.
Well, they
were talking about it and showing like some video.
Yeah. Well, if you see the video, it was all peaceful. I was in the trial. I mean, everybody showed video. They walked out of there peacefully. When they got out front, they started singing Mute R. Kelly. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was nothing ever that reminisced a bomb threat. And for the record, no, I did not call in a bomb threat. I mean, it's a simple, or whatever. It was a gun threat. It wasn't a bomb threat. So, one, I was the only person that would, first of all, I spent $5,000 to get a cease and desist order done. That because they were infringing on his trademark.
A cease and desist order don't cost $5,000. The most you'll pay is $350. The least you'll pay is $250. Oh my God.
R. Kelly is a brand. I don't care what nobody thinks. It's a brand, just like McDonald's, just like Coca-Cola, just like Pepsi. It's a brand. Pepsi can't do a Coca-Cola event. They can't. Right. Without having some problems from Coca-Cola. They're going to get shut down and a whole bunch of other stuff is going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. So for Lifetime and the nuance there. Let's take mine. Lifetime ain't had nothing to say about it. Lifetime never came after me. So if this is their event and I shut it down, why didn't Lifetime come after me? Why didn't they take part in the investigation or the trial or anything? This is government again. The same government that went after this man with everything they had and threw it.
Lifetime ain't have to come at you. They turned it over to the feds. Once it's turned over to the feds, they don't have to come to you. The feds gonna do it.
The book at him and wants to see him buried underground. I'm collateral damage. So I'm telling you, yeah, I was on the phone with the venue most of the day, sending a cease and desist order in. That was good enough to me because, listen, if you go on beyond the point of knowing the cease and desist order exists, what is that? More money, $150,000 per infraction. So I don't care about shutting the event down. I want the event to happen.
So you told that man a bendejo?
So for them to think that I would do that is stupid. I was on the phone talking with the employee at the venue, Kresnicki, what his name was, but he, who I didn't know until the trial, he was on 2 or 3 drugs. He admitted that in the trial. He was high and whatever else, which didn't matter.
So you did call.
That part, DB.
Which is why they had the phone records.
Yeah,
because you did call.
We admitted to all
But
that.
not for a threat, is what you're saying.
I never. It was. I don't even think it was a threat called in. To be frank, I think either Kresnicki, what he did, because the last thing that happened when I talked to the guy, he was upset that Lifetime, the executive at Lifetime and his manager wouldn't take my call. I'm telling him, me and this guy been on the phone. I'm like, listen, this is R. Kelly's camp. We've got problems going on. We getting life threats and all this stuff in Chicago. That's where it did come up at, because that was true. We getting everybody going on this page, threatening them and all this stuff. And it's like, this is an illegal event. He's sympathizing. He's like, I'm an R. Kelly fan. I don't like what they're doing. If that's the case, they should talk to you. I'm going to get my manager. He went and got his manager. His manager wouldn't get on the phone because Lifetime told him not to. I'm hearing him in the background. Then he went talk. He's like, well, I don't know what to do. So I said, listen, hang up. I'm going to call the police and I'll call back. Called the police and I said, listen, we're getting death threats. This is an illegal event. It's causing life threats and all that stuff in Chicago. You guys need to get over there and shut the event down. So to me...
Hold up. Did this dude say he called the police and said, this is a legal event, y'all guys need to get over there and shut this thing down because of threats? Now, I want y'all to think about that. He said he called the police and said, this is a legal event. I need you guys to get over there and shut that thing down because of the death threats towards R. Kelly. But it's an event about R. Kelly. I want y'all to think about that. I'm gonna play it again.
Kresnicki, what his name was, but he, who I didn't know until the trial, he was on 2 or 3 drugs. He admitted that in the trial. He was high and whatever else, which didn't matter.
So you did call?
I did. I called him several times. I was the only
Which is
one.
why they had the phone records.
Yeah,
because you did call.
We admitted to all
But
that.
not for a threat, is what you're saying.
I don't even think it was a threat called in, to be frank. I think either Kresnicki, what he did, because the last thing that happened when I talked to the guy, he was upset that Lifetime, the executive at Lifetime and his manager wouldn't take my call. I'm telling him, me and this guy been on the phone, I'm like, listen, this is R. Kelly's camp. We've got problems going on. We getting life threats and all this stuff in Chicago. That's where it did come up at, because that was true. We getting everybody going on this page, threatening them and all this stuff. And it's like, this is an illegal event. He's sympathizing. He's like, I'm an R. Kelly fan. I don't like what they're doing. If that's the case, they should talk to you. I'm going to get my manager. He went and got his manager. His manager wouldn't get on the phone because Lifetime told him not to. I'm hearing him in the background. Then he went talk. He's like, well, I don't know what to do. So I said, listen, hang up. I'm going to call the police and I'll call back. Called the police and I said, listen, we're getting death threats. This is an illegal event. It's causing life threats and all that stuff in Chicago. You guys need to get over there and shut the event down. So to me, doing that was like when they said, okay, we'll see what we can do. I couldn't call 911 because I'm in Chicago, that's New York. So it's not like you're going to get a direct line into 911 in New York. So I went online and found which beat that was, and I got the fire department's number. The fire department told me which precinct was closest to the venue. So I called the police department back, and they basically said, The guy that answered the phone said he would get somebody over there. That was as simple as it was. So when I called him back at the
So we were at the screening of Surviving R. Kelly, and there was a threat called in, and they had to evacuate everyone, and the survivors are going in their van, and they are leaving the scene. We have all been asked to go out. This was not a heavily promoted event.
Incredible threat. We think it was done by obvious parties to detract from this moment and this important subject. And so I hope everybody is okay.
This is Joshua Dubois. He is one of the people that does a lot of this promotion for these shows that and films that are focused on black people. And he's a really amazing man, and he's done something really great here. But we were evacuated. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely, that people see this movie. That's right. Oh no, this is live, baby. You know I'm live. Let them know. This is it. We are live. We are documenting. That is it. That is it. That is it. We are live. Oh, so this is Jamila. You guys know Jamila. You know Sister Burke over here. You know all these other people. We are all here in this building talking about R. Kelly and how we hate that nigga and we hope he dies. You know that's real, sis. We hate this nigga. We ain't gonna shut us down. Fuck you. Ain't no threat. Ain't no threat. You ain't shutting down Lifetime. That's it.
Mute R. Kelly.
Mute R. Kelly out this bitch. That's right. That's right. Mute Kelly. Mute R. Kelly. Mute R. Kelly. Mute R. Kelly. Mute R. Kelly. Get that nigga out of here. Kelly. Mute R. Kelly. We got to keep these survivors safe. To keep these survivors safe. We were evacuated because there was a threat called in. So whenever you have a lot of black feminists in this space and you have survivors of this fucking rampant ass bastard, somebody's being funny. They think that shit is cool. It's not, but that's all right because the show is debuting on January 3rd on Lifetime. It's a 3-part series, and we're all going to be sharing the story of these survivors. And how do y'all feel about it, brother?
I mean, listen, as a brother right here from Hartford, Connecticut, fuck you, R. Kelly. Ain't none of y'all gonna abuse nobody.
Now, how Don felt like what he did wasn't going to get backlash to R. Kelly. All of that backlash for what? And Rob ain't even do nothing. This is what I mean when I say a lot of stuff that he did, it hurt Rob. A lot. And if you notice, you seen Faith in that picture, right? Like I said, they were concocting stories, they were lying on him, and they was doing everything. Now, and you had some brainwashed guys in there that want to be with some of them people in there that, I mean, it's cool. But the lies that Don spewed, the stuff that Don did, it created extra backlash towards Robert. So while they saying mute R. Kelly, I'm screaming unmute. I'm saying mute them. If R. Kelly can be put on display, why can't each and every last one of them be on public display? I'm going to turn this into a series. This is just part 1. And I'm going to do parts leading up into the next 5 days until Tia Ewing and Early and release part 2 of that interview with Don Russell. But in other words, have a good night, y'all. Have a good night. You know why? Because people got to get up and go to work in the morning. So this was just part 1. Part 2 will be coming tomorrow night. And I will be reading Steve Mortson letter. I will be reading both sentencing memorandums in Don Russell's case. And we're going to play the rest of that first interview of Don Russell. And we're going to look at Choke No Jokes interview. We're going to look at Nick at Night's interview and see if he said the same thing that he said on both of those platforms. All right? Y'all have a good night, man. And understand this. Everything that's done in the dark is going to be done in it's going to be shown in light. But wait. And before I go, if you want to call in, call in. Let me know what you think about this whole Don Russell situation. 404-914-7986. Call in. 404-914-7986. Call in. Call in. Boom. Call in. I want to hear from you. 404-914-7986. Four 914-7986. I want to hear from you. What must I say? What must I do to show how much I think about freaking you? Come on, call in. 404-914-7986. Waiting on your call. Let's see. Play some music until y'all call in. Yo, you live on the DanaJay show. How can I help you, caller?
What's good, Dana?
What's going on, new Black Panther?
Man, I'm just listening to your live, just shaking my head going down the road like this. I ain't finna cuss on your channel, but I mean, I'm hoping all this Jennifer Bonjean know exactly what's going on, how everything started from beginning to the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that man should not be sitting in jail for no 30 years for something he did. You know what I mean? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that was doubting you, they should be kicking themselves in their behind right now. I'll put it like that. They should be kicking themselves saying that he was right. You know what I mean? But the hate they had for you, you know what I mean? They just embraced him because they didn't like you. So, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it don't make no sense, you know?
Facts. That's facts.
Yeah,
and I totally appreciate everything you said because, you know, people don't want to recognize the truth, man. And
right.
And it's like, and that's cool. But I mean, a lot of people is not going to recognize the truth. A lot of people is not going to, you know, understand what's really going on because they want to be in the know-how. And because they not in the know-how, okay, it got to be a lie.
Exactly. But, I mean, I know eventually, you know what I mean, he got free, you know what I mean, and it's like it was all a plot to, he conspired with the savages, you know what I mean, to get everything started or whatever and try to come against him and get some money, get a bag or whatever. But, you know, I felt what I know you don't like people. I felt what your, the cousin, I'll put it like that, the cousin was saying the other night, well, as far as, even though he did a lot of this and he got this ball rolling and he did a lot of this, but it's like I felt what he was saying on his live too. It was like, okay, regardless of what happened, let's get this man free now. And then it seemed Levi appears to be a smart man or whatever. You know what I mean? I know y'all at odds or whatever, but I feel like by him coming out Timothy Savage coming out saying that he need a redo. I agree with that part, even though everybody know what he did as far as getting this thing going or whatever, you know what I mean? But I think truth is the truth and the lie is a lie. Everybody know what he did when he came out and made this big old scene or whatever, you know what I mean? But it's like, we really can't keep on saying, okay, you did this. Okay, that's water on the bridge, but I mean, he wanted his daughter back. I guess allegedly he wanted his daughter back. You know what I mean? And everything just connects with each other at the end of the day. And like the cousin was saying, you know, ain't no sense in saying what happened. Everybody know what happened. Let's get this man freed and go from there. You know what I mean? Savage and the other other guy, the other father. I think both of them should be tried, you know what I mean, and a court of law, you know what I mean, because they both played a part in this, you know what I mean, and go from there, you know. But they coming though, they coming, and I think everything is getting unraveled right now. And like you said, stay away from this case. You warned everybody, stay away from this case, and everybody didn't listen. So it's like, okay, in the end, what don't come out and watch don't come out and rinse. So, you know what I mean?
I'm
That's the only thing I had to say.
I can't hold you accountable for stuff that you don't know, right? So even even with the cousin saying let's get him free, right? Even with that, how can you say out of one breath let's get him free, and in the next breath you saying you stand with the parent? And the parent did something dangerous to your supposed to be cousin.
Or maybe I don't know what's going on in his head, but maybe I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to get close to him and figure out everything, the behind the scenes stuff of what happened.
There is no excuse for that.
Okay, well.
And you can't talk double tongue. And the Bible even says a double-minded man is dangerous in all his ways.
Unstable in all his ways, right.
Right. So therefore, how can you trust an unstable person?
I mean, I don't know everything that's going on, but I know that at the end of the day, it's like, damn, no trucks. I'm ready to pull over. At the end of the day, it's like, everything gonna come out. I don't know what his method of his madness is. You know what I mean? Like I said, he appeared to be a smart man. I don't want to get into no beef with two men. I'll let the whole shoes, you know what I mean? So go from there, you know what I mean? But it seemed like everything gonna work itself out in the end, you know?
Everything done worked itself out.
Yeah, it ain't finished yet. I think some more gonna come out. A few more things. I think a few more things gonna come out that's gonna be in the benefit of R. Kelly, though. You know. So I don't think it's over with yet. So
I'm gonna say this: everything that I have told everybody is playing out. I don't gotta do another live. I can shut down every channel that I ever have, and everything that I've said is playing out.
Yeah, but I mean, I will leave him up because when Kells come home, you know what I mean, he gonna have the proof and he gonna see what you said, and he gonna see what the cousin said, and he gonna see, okay, everybody works together.
I'm not shutting them down. I was giving you an analogy of what.
Okay, cool.
I'm just saying,
yeah.
And you got to look at it like certain people have certain agendas. And when you come in with an agenda and you have somebody who don't have an agenda, it's like, yo, things go crazy. Yo, I got dragged for stuff I ain't know nothing about. But because I'm a solid dude, I covered for certain people. I'm not doing it no more.
True. Yeah. Well, Free kills, you know what I mean? I think I hashtagged you on a couple of my reels on Facebook when I was in Africa. I don't know if you got it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Press there. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna jump back in the chat then. I'm finna go on here, park and pull it over for the night. I'm sorry, I'm over here. Matter of fact, I'm in your city, Baltimore.
Oh, okay, you in my hometown.
Yeah. Right through Baltimore, I-95, yep.
Where you at in Baltimore?
I mean, I'm not in Baltimore, but I just rolled through there, you know what I mean? I-95 headed south, so.
Where was you at? Are you came through the backside of 95?
I was in Virginia, then I ended up going through, I just saw, Virginia on the East Coast, though. Shit, my brain tired right now.
You in PG?
I don't even know what PG is.
Prince George's County.
I don't know about that. Right. I don't know what that is. I just ride, you know.
So are you going north or you coming south?
Ashland, West Ashland, Virginia, I think this is. Ashland, Virginia area, right now.
Okay, so where was you coming from?
Well, damn, where the hell was I coming from? I'm here in so many cities. My brain, I can't even think right now. But I know it was Virginia. Damn, we gotta go through this way station. But yeah, let me jump back in the chat, then I gotta go through this way station. They buzz me in,
right.
Transponder.
All right, okay.
All right, peace.
All right. Oh man, I wish nothing but traveling mercy for new Black Panther. Call in and tell me what you think about Don Russell. Come on, 404-914-7986. I'm getting tired. I'm tired. Call in and tell me what you think about Don Russell. 404-914-7986. I guess don't nobody want to call in. Okay. Well, I guess I don't have a hot box tonight. Don't nobody want to call in. Well, I think the one person that did call in, I'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget. And we riding hard tomorrow. All right? Y'all be blessed. Good night. Thank y'all for joining me. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all chose to be with me. So, holla at y'all. Peace.
Yeah. Oh. I feel like taking a dip in your pool. Relax a bit, you know what I mean? Sip on a little of that Patron. Yeah. Oh. I feel like taking a dip in your pool. Relax a bit, you know what I mean? Sip on a little of that Patron. You know what I mean? Swimming in you. Swimming in you. Swimming in you. Hey, little mama said I wanna take a dip in your pool. Just go for a little dive, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Said I wanna take a dip in your pool. Just go for a little dive, yeah.